People call me XS. It's a nickname you gave me when I was a kid.
So guys, Nora and the Speedforce symbols, what happened to that? What happened to that book that she was writing in full of, or that journal full of Speedforce symbols? Well, it looks like the promo photos for All Dolled Up coming in a couple of weeks time, episode 5, gives us a little preview that that little book might be returning. How's it going, Speedsters? Welcome to a brand new Flash Season 5 video. Now today I want to talk about the promo photos for Season 5, Episode 5, titled All Dolled Up. If you missed my trailer breakdown, it will be in the cards above, just up there. I do go over a massive crossover update in that as well, including our first official look at the Monitor and black-suited Superman. But this video is all about the fact that we see Nora finally writing in that journal again in the next episode. So it's about time anyway, because what was ever happening with those Speedforce symbols? We even know that they're going to be in the crossover coming in December, because the Monitor's book, or whatever, we assume it to be his book, and we see the black suited Superman actually reading out of that book, and that book's full of Speedforce symbols. What does this all mean? So if you guys go on to enjoy this video, I'd really appreciate if you hit that like button and be sure to subscribe for more Flash update videos just like this. Now, first of all, just before we get to the Speedforce symbol book talk, let's have a look at these promo photos of Ragdoll. My god, does he look creepy. I mean, sure, we saw him in the trailer for the following episode, but man, these photos are very detailed, and if you saw the trailer and what this guy can do, it is literally a walking human slash meta Ragdoll, whatever way the Flash is going to portray him. Now also, what we know from the synopsis for episode 5, All Dolled Up, is that Nora lets slip something about the future that is kind of devastating to Iris. Now I have to wonder, in this photo, is Barry and Iris kind of just reacting to that? But either way, Barry seems to be taking Iris on a kind of investigation to distract her, looking into Ragdoll, because whatever she finds out really seems to be getting to her. I'm sure Barry will be saying something like, I'm sure like this may or may not happen in the future kind of thing. And as to what that could be, we have no idea really. I mean, it could be something like Cecile dying and knowing that her father's girlfriend, or the person that, you know, he's with, is going to pass away without him knowing it. That is pretty devastating. I did mention Papa Joe passing away in the trailer breakdown, but then again, he is going to become the police chief. Maybe she could have learned that he passes away too soon, but I would love to know your thoughts down in the comments below in relation to that. Diving straight back into the Speedforce symbol talk, we see a couple of promo photos here of Iris and Nora, and just Nora by herself. But it looks like there's this like long album, or like it looks like to be some kind of long massive book, which could be a family photo album. But my best guess is that maybe Iris and Nora are finally bonding a little bit more after the tension that we had at the end of last episode. Iris might be showing Nora some of, like, I don't know, the family history already. I highly doubt that this is a family photo album from Nora in the future, and she happened to bring that back in time with her with the journal that she brought back in time. But ultimately, this folder, if you will, definitely has photos in it. So let me know your thoughts as to what could be in that folder slash portfolio-esque book. Now notice in between the promo photos, when she's with Iris, the Speedforce symbol journal isn't out. Like, I don't think it's anywhere to be seen when she's looking at the book with Iris. Yet when Iris isn't in the scene, that is when the journal pops back out, and Nora seems to be writing in the journal, just like we did see her last season multiple times writing in the journal when she used to travel back and forth in time. So I was getting a bit excited about, oh my god, will we be finally seeing Barry and Iris talk to Nora about the Speedforce symbols, or they'll ask her at least what the journal was about, and like, hey, you're writing down Speedforce symbols, because, you know, we actually haven't got anything about that yet, and Nora, the daughter of Barry and Iris, knows fully about them and can write in them just like Barry did when he came out of the Speedforce, but not like he can do that now. But now just seeing that there's two separate shots of Nora writing in this journal when Iris seems to not be in the scene, makes me think that she still might be hiding this from her parents. Now that makes it quite suspicious. Like, why would you hide this journal of Speedforce symbols from your parents? But I was talking to DJ Eric yesterday. I'm sure you guys know him on YouTube, Eric's Reloaded, and he did mention obviously what we learned about quite a while ago is that Nora's actual speedster suit has Speedforce symbols running down the side of it. I don't even think that this is necessarily nitpicky, because if she has freaking Speedforce symbols down the side of her suit, why hasn't that been talked about? Why hasn't anybody addressed that? And especially if in this episode, Nora hides that journal still from her parents, like I'm assuming she does in this scene. Who knows? Iris might ask her what she's doing and what are those symbols. Hey, aren't they the same as what your father was writing? Blah, 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 blah. But if they don't, then why? Why? Because she's got them on her freaking actual armor. Or her suit, if you will. So yeah, that I would love to know what you guys think about that. Now, to the best of my memory, what we know about the Speedforce symbols is essentially that they do decode to an actual messages, right? They do contain information, essentially, from what we know from last season about the future. So what Barry was saying and rambling when he came out of the Speedforce, like Nora shouldn't be here and things like that, he did actually say. He did say, well, this season in like episode 1 even, and there's been other sayings as well, like this house is bitching being a famous one. So it does seem to be some kind of really highly advanced kind of future language. And what we know from last season is that when Nora was coming back, meeting various team members of Team Flash, except her mother, is that she was giddily writing down in her journal, and recording, evidently like you kind of would in a journal. So here, maybe she's still writing down, oh, I did this today. So if that's the case, it does kind of lead me to a partial conclusion of that this is definitely a future way of how people in the future are educated in writing stuff down. But like, God, it can contain so much more information than the basic freaking alphabet. Now, there is also some popular theories out there that Nora could be being influenced by the Reverse Flash in the future. But that was definitely insinuated, not necessarily the Reverse Flash, but Sherlock Wells definitely insinuated to the viewers that, and Nora, that he knows essentially that she didn't figure out to stop the satellite by herself. So just imagine in the future for a second that with all of this stuff that Nora's been writing down, all the details about her past, her father, her experiences, what if like the Reverse Flash got a hold of this as well? Because we know like his origin story was essentially a fanboy. Sure, he probably knows more than enough than there is to know about the Flash himself. But if he had like insight from Barry's own daughter in the form of this Speedforce journal, symbol journal, that would be pretty crazy info as well. So guys, what do you think? Do you think that they're actually going to reveal and talk about the Speedforce symbols, or at least the journal next episode? Because, they're going to have to do it sooner or later. And if they don't, do you agree that the fact that she seems to have those symbols down on her actual speedster suit does kind of leave like this massive hole in the show, or a little like plot error already? I really, really hope that someone like Barry or her mother gets an eye of the fact that she's writing Speedforce symbols down in the journal, and then they do inquire into it, and we only learn more about it from there on out. But that is a massive, still somewhat of a mystery in the Arrowverse at the minute, especially as we know that it still links to the freaking crossover and how the Monitors book and everything, like I mentioned earlier on in this video, has Speedforce symbols in it as well. It's obviously much more grander, way into the future. Also guys, I almost forgot to mention this, but obviously so far in The Flash, in the first 3 episodes, we've seen Joe West sit down more or less, and that is because we actually have found out that he couldn't really be standing up too much, even though we did see him in the latest episode lean against the door. Jesse L. Martin has had to take a little leave of absence, and he will be returning after he hopefully makes a speedy recovery to the show, but they're obviously going to write him out. And it turns out that during a hiatus, he did obviously get a back injury. So I'm guessing that is obviously why in the first 3 episodes, he was partially just sat down, whether you saw him in the house, when Cicada was torturing him, everything like that. It must be quite serious. So let's all hopefully wish him a very speedy recovery. Other than that, everyone, be sure to leave a like on this video if you did enjoy it, and subscribe for more Flash and Arrowverse videos just like this. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see you speedsters in the next video. Goodbye.